Hey, everybody, this is Ramon Ray. Thanks for watching Ramon Ray Live. This is a new format. Many of you have found the format or seen me do the format for the last few weeks, and I've done that on Facebook Live. So I figured I'd try a new format on Zoom. And why am I doing it? For two reasons. I think one, because I think it's good that people register so that you can get reminders to watch the show. So that's one. Zoom also gives me a little more flexibility for some other things I'm trying to do. It's an experimentation. So I'm still live. And those of you who are joining me who want to go in the chat, ask a question. We have some attendees that I think we do. I can see there. Armand, thanks for joining. If you have a question, put it in the chat. I think you can find that. And this is the new format of Ramon Ray. Used to be called Ask Ramon Ray, but it's Ramon Ray Live. And I kind of realized also in the Facebook format, there was some engagement. People were saying hello and all that, but it wasn't a lot of questions. I thought it was like Ask Ramon Ray. So I figured, you know what? Maybe people are watching for the 30 minutes to inspire them, educate them for Monday, and that's what I'm going to do now. And a question I have for myself, why when you're starting a show does your printer decide to act up? Next time, I'll turn the thing off. But I'm so glad you guys are here who are here and those who will watch this afterwards as well. So with that, let's start the show, Ramon Ray Live. A few things I want to talk about today. In fact, 3 topics. I opened my show notes. 3 things we're going to talk about. 1, do you need social media? That was a question that was asked to me by a young entrepreneur, as an adult young man, entrepreneur of mine who's argued with me. He said, Ramon, I don't need social media for my business. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about WeWork, as you guys have seen possibly. I think their valuation was 47, almost 50 billion. I believe they moved it down to 20, something like that, a third or so down, give or take. So I want to talk about that, but not about the financial aspects, not about WeWork, but more so about the aspect of leadership in Adam Newman, their founder, chairman of the board, and et cetera. And then lastly, we'll finish about the week I've had with the week of masterminds. So with that, let's dive in. We'll do this for about 15 minutes. And then if you have questions, put them in the question box, in the chat box, and I'll answer your questions and then we'll call it a night. So first, do you need social media? This was asked to me by a friend of mine who said, Ramon, listen, I don't need social media to have a successful business. He's an entertainer and does event hosting and things of this nature. He has a point. So if you don't have social media, what do you do? Of course, we didn't have social media 20 years ago, whatever it was, and the world happened just fine. Brands have exploded just fine, Zig Ziglar and others. And of course, if you take a look at the big brands, what do? Advertising. Take a look at people who were not big brands like global brands like that, but they had a great message and they probably did what I'm going to tell you what you can do without social media. That means one-to-one outreach, cold calls, in-person networking, things like that. Old school methods, passing out flyers, going to different communities, one by one. So you can definitely build a great business. And the better you are, the stronger your message, other people will begin to talk about you and you'll grow. Seth Godin talks about this quite a bit. In fact, he's not been using social media quite a bit. He has one of the biggest email newsletters in the planet. So you definitely can do it. My point is this. If you have social media, it can help. It can scale. What does social media enable you to do? It lets you find your fans and let you find your tribe that much faster. Without social media, you can do it. But on Instagram, you can post a hashtag. People who follow the hashtag can find you. On LinkedIn, you can post something to your fan base. It'll grow and grow and grow. They share and you can tag other people. Much better without social media. So I'm a firm believer, the guy who wrote the Celebrity CEO book, that no, you don't need social media to grow your business, but it definitely can help you. And social media, what does it do also? It enables others. Once you share with them, they can share what you're doing with their network as well. So that's my 2 cents on social media. I'm not saying you have to have it, but absolutely, since we have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, it's definitely an important part of a marketing strategy. I think every business owner should definitely consider it, and it should be the rare exception for those who don't use it. Next topic, WeWork. I'm not going to get into the financial aspects of WeWork. I'm not a financial analyst. But what got me thinking, I was listening to a Wall Street Journal podcast. I think it's called, I forgot what it's called. Why does my phone have to ring during this? I should have turned my phone off. So here we go. Turn that off there. So I was listening to a Wall Street Journal podcast, and I think a few things that got people kind of gnarly, as it were, about the WeWork evaluation, which led to it revaluing itself. But there's some other things to look at. So one, the valuation was too high. People kind of saw that as they were looking through the filing that WeWork had. I think two, the question came out, is it a real estate company or is it a tech company? And those of you who are joining, we're going to jump into questions and answers in a bit at the end of this, but is it a tech company? That's something to ask And keep in mind, and I think the valuation, the filing document showed it's really a real estate company. But this is really the kicker. Why WeWork, I think, had such a problem. It's because of a lack of leadership. That is the kicker. So what happened? One, there was a clause in the filing documents that Adam Newman's wife could be on the committee, which would decide who the successor was if he died or something happened to him within 10 years. Your wife deciding who the successor is for a public company? I don't think so. Another thing that happened is that the parent company of WeWork, the name they paid him almost, I believe it was $6 million for the rights of the word we. It's your company. You don't pay yourself kind of like that. It looks kind of slimy or shady. Third is that he had super voting rights that first were 20 times more powerful than anybody else's voting right. That means he was pretty much emperor, king, queen, could do pretty much what he wanted. Yeah, he reduced it to 10 times, but still, that's a lot. Other thing, he sold hundreds of millions of dollars of stock in his company and hasn't even gone public yet. So if somebody's selling a lot of stock in their company, do you think they really have faith in their company? I think not. And last but not least, as I said that, his one company paid him, I said that already, $6 million for the trademark and et cetera. So my point being is that be very careful when you're doing things like this as a leader, as one who's growing a business, because there's nothing worse than trying to go public and build a company, but you're not such a great leader. So that's really my point two tonight, talking about the aspect of WeWork and what we can learn. The reason it went bad was because there wasn't great leadership. Last but not least, this was a week where I was in a lot of meetings. In fact, two kind of masterminds. One was a Shank Minds mastermind all day in a room. And the other one was my National Speakers Association Certified Speaking Professional Brain Trust. Point being, if you don't take, I'd say once every few months and lock yourself in a room with a small group of smart people, you're doing yourself a disservice. Maybe you can get it for free and just bring friends together. Maybe you have to pay a few hundred or a few $1,000s for it. But the point is, the way to grow your business is to grow your mind. And the best way to do that is to surround yourself with people who are equal to you, as it were, in business and maturity, or a little far ahead of you, and even people who you can help. But the point is that mix will help you grow your business. So my name is Ramon Ray, and that's Ramon Ray Live. Now, we'll turn into your questions and see if we have questions from Craig. Says, a local baker in Staten Island still does not use social media. Is line still up the door every Sunday? Craig, and you're right. And keep in mind, this is a local bakery, foot traffic, so I should qualify. If you're a local business and a retail shop, you probably don't need social media because you have that retail location. So that's Craig Caruso. Thanks for chiming in there. And Ken says, the key is building a tribe plus giving credibility as well. And Craig mentions that WeWork's not the only company that had some trouble, but Uber is as well. So listen, that's Ramon Ray Live. I hope this kind of inspired you, gave you a pep or a thought for your Monday. And join me as best I can every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for Ramon Ray Live. Well, I want to share with you a tidbit of information to help you grow your business. I hope you like this. It's Sunday evening. I'm going to go have a cup of coffee and see what else I can do. But listen, thanks for watching. Have a good night.